All right, welcome everybody to today's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell at traderscoach.com, and today is September 11th, 2024, the day that will live in infamy, right? All right, well, good to be here. All right, before we get going with any of our administrational items here, Gene, I'm going to bring you on if you have anything that you need to inform us about.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see everyone here. First is, do me a favor and find the questions area and just give a shout out or hello just to let us know you found that. The questions area is where you can type in questions for Bennett and he will answer them live for you here. And also wanted to mention that on Fridays, every single Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we do a stock analysis Friday, and that is a really, really great event. Basically, it's a place where you can bring your stocks, have Bennett look at them, give you his feedback, and kind of tell you what his thoughts are. So Bennett, I think that's about it. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, the Stock Analysis Friday is fun. We started a little while ago, and basically it's every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so it's during the market hours on Friday. And what folks do is they bring some stocks to the room, and you can type in as many, I think, as 3 at a time, but you can type in them again, so you can bring a bunch. But the idea is we go through those, we're together for about a half an hour, and the idea is if you're thinking about going long, or you are long, or you're short, or whatever you are, then you want kind of an opinion based on my analysis using the software tools where to put your stop and things like that. You can bring that also to do an overall evaluation of the Elliott wave. But we have nice turnouts on YouTube. I think we also have it going right through our Facebook, traderscoach.com page, and LinkedIn too. So easy to gain access through one of those particular areas. And then we record them and keep them on YouTube. All right, so let me go through the administrational items. I had a couple questions come in via email, so I do want to make sure I do cover those before we get going as well. But first thing to talk about are the risks involved in trading. Like I always say, without that risk, there is no opportunity. So the two do go hand in hand. Always trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. And any suggestions that I have here or recommendations, run those by your financial advisor or whoever manages your money, because I don't know your personal situation, and of course they do, or at least they should. Also, to know how to do risk control in each and every trade, how to set stops and do all that kind of thing. And always best to practice in a simulated environment until you get the techniques and everything down. That's really super important. All right, what else can I say? All right, with trading with money you can afford to risk, you know, there's a variety of, especially in the day trading these days, futures markets, there's a variety of prop firms out there, so you may want to consider that option as well. One of my favorites is Apex. I'll put a link in there because we're running a special, well, they are anyway, using our discount coupon. So I put that in the chat area. If you're interested, grab that, open up a evaluation account. It's really inexpensive. It won't cost you more than 40 bucks a month, and you get free data. And then you get a simulated account, and you can read their rules on terms and regulations on how to trade the account. And it's really an excellent way for you to learn how to trade with strict risk control, get funded, and then they'll pay you 90% of your profits. So we love this thing. We've been using it. It's a great way. Talk about trading with risk capital, this is it, and you do get free data with it. So I actually can't say enough about it. All right, books, my art trading book on the far right, guess what? It is finished. So it is in the publisher's hands. They're doing the layout. Gene, I think, what, 580 pages is the final count?
Yeah, but it's just a couple pages shy of 600 pages. Lots of content, lots of images, diagrams, so you're gonna love it.
All right, so big book, pretty much a brain dump from me to you in that book. It's pretty comprehensive, and our first edition came out in 2008, so it's been a while, and we go into all the newest software and all sorts of good stuff, bringing it up to date in today's industry or market conditions. All right, Money Management for Traders, Traders Money Management System, great books on risk control. Elliott Wave Techniques, all about the Elliott Wave, and the Survival Guide for Traders is all about running your business or trading business like a professional hedge fund. All right, many of you have our software already. If not, these are basically what it's all about. Basically, we have on the top row charting software, middle row scanners, bottom row is all about risk control software, and you'll see this being used on various charts. All right, so let me come out of here. And I got a couple things we're going to cover today. One of the questions I had from a student, Clifford, I don't know if you're here today. We got a pretty good sized turnout here. But if you are here or not, if you're not here, we'll send you an email, let you know we covered this, and you can watch it on YouTube, the recording. Otherwise, you can pick it up from here. All right, so basically he was asking me, is a QQQ in a wave 3 or not? And again, this is where I like to look at different time frames to get an idea of where the market is on certain symbols. And if we open up the QQQ on the actual weekly chart, you can see it goes all the way back to 2000, and we've had a big dramatic move up here. We had a COVID hiccup here, V-shaped bottom, back up here and here. So far, the way I would look at this here is probably in this category on the weekly chart, we're probably at this particular point, and it looks like this oscillator is actually higher than that one. This is a wave, a deep wave 3 here on the ABC, which is completed. So now we're going up here. So this is really, I would say this is 3, 4, 5 on the weekly chart for the Qs. So we're still heading up. You still have a bullish owl. So you're probably in a wave 3, maybe, or maybe towards the completion of a wave 5 in the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart and take a closer look and open that one up. And in this one here, you can see here a similar situation. You can see the 4 and 5. Got a green PTF, but more highs are still coming on the QQQs. So I don't think it's quite topped yet. So that's kind of where we're looking at it at that particular point. So I still think wave 3, we're in on the weekly, and we are in the final move up, I think, on a wave 5 on the QQQ daily, not finished yet. So a little bit more highs coming up on that. All right, another thing I wanted to take a look at, and I'm just going to go over to the daily time frame. And if anybody has any specific questions that you want to ask, feel free to do it. But if we take a look, I'm just going to use the day trading time frames for a minute, and I think pretty much they're pretty slow, if not closed right now until later today. Yeah, a little bit of activity, but not much. So I get a lot of questions on stop loss setting using Ninja's ATM strategy. This is the platform online. I'm sure, you know, TradeStation's got stuff like this too, but the questions I've had pretty much have been around the NinjaTrader platform. And so for those of you, what you need to do here first, let me just back up here for one quick second, and let's just go ahead. I'm just going to open up one chart for right now and kind of leave it like that. All right, so first thing you do if you want to use a stop loss profit taking strategy that's kind of somewhat automated, you go ahead and bring up the chart trader on the right hand side. And then that puts it firmly over here. There's other ways to access it, but this is the easiest way. Then you go to the ATM strategy here, and that's that right there, okay? And notice it says none. So let's go ahead and create one, okay? I'm gonna just put this on simulator. And what you do is you come down here and you go to custom, all right? And that's going to bring up a little box right here where you can actually now put some variables into it. So let's say you wanted to trade 5 contracts, okay? So you've got to tell it the order quantity first. If you're day trading this, you can just use day. If you're trading longer term, you may want to use the good till canceled option in there. All right, and then it has a target here, okay? So the target here is basically off of ticks. Now you could set this to other types of measurements. You could set this to price, you could set it to percent, etc. We're gonna use ticks because this is the MES. So there are 4 ticks in a point, and on the MES, each tick is each point is $5. All right. So if you have 4 ticks equaling $5, and you want to take, let's say, profits on each contract at, let's say, 10 points. Okay. So 10 points times 5, okay, or 10 points. First thing you got to do is convert. So 10 points here, bring a calculator up. So if you got 4 in there times 10, you're going to be talking 40 ticks in order to take profits. So what you want to do is go in here and say at 40, we'll take a profit, okay? And the stop loss you want to have probably at 20. We'll do a 2-to-1 stop loss, and there you have it. Now you can add some other things in here too. So let's say I only wanted to take profits on 3 contracts and then take the other 2, all right, maybe at 45, or let's say maybe even 20. Let's say I want to break it even that way. So the way I have it set up is basically it'll take 3 contracts at 40 ticks and 2 contracts at 20. All right. Now you can change that to whatever you're comfortable with. You know, if you're only trading 1 contract, then you can you can put whatever variables you in for that too. But in any case, so let's save this template. And whoops, this one's got to be greater than this. So 40, and we'll put 20 here. So I just had it reversed. Okay, so there, we'll do that. We'll put tests here like that, and we'll save it. Okay, and then okay. So now if you look over here, all right, I've got it over here under the ATM strategy. So that's kind of cool. So it's sitting right there, and it's in a laundry list right there. And so now let's just say I bought the market here, okay? So when I hit that and buy the market, notice it'll have my fill here. It has my stop for my entire position under here at the specified number of contracts, which was 20. And then I have my first 3 getting sold out on me at 20 here, and the remainder at 20 here for that total of 40 contracts. So this is kind of a stair-stepping way of basically taking profits, but that's not the point. The point I'm trying to show you is that you can set it up any way you want. Now you can move these too. So let's say I don't want to keep it up there for this trade. Let's say I want to keep it here and lower this and tighten up my stop here. So you can slide and move these all around, and let's see if we can, let's just let that run a little bit. It's not going to move very much because the markets are kind of closed right now with this. But let's try to set our stop really close. So if this gets triggered here, this 3, let's say we can take profits here. All right, that's going to obviously lower the position to 2 contracts. This sell stop will automatically change to 2, and this will stay, I believe, as 2. So you'll always be in sync with the number of contracts that are still active. And I find this a really, really handy way to very quickly manage your positions without having to create manually sell orders and profit-taking sell orders on a long position. So kind of very easy to do, very customizable. And we'll just let this thing unwind, see if we get stopped out or if we get a profit out of this. And so it'll change the numbers, which is kind of neat to see. But once the sell stop is hit, then you're out of the position. All the other orders disappear too. So using this allows you to not have outstanding orders sitting out there by accident that you may have missed if you would put these all in manually. So it's a very efficient way to do it. How many people are using this approach already? A lot of people don't even know it exists, to be honest with you. And you can use this on daily charts. You can use this on intraday charts, weekly charts, doesn't matter. Any market, any time frame that you can get the data into Ninja for. And so that's kind of a cool thing. All right, so a couple of you are using it already. That's really good. And you like it? Okay, hopefully we'll get stopped out here. You can see the whole order disappear if that happens. All the lines will go away. If not, and we take profits at 3, then we'll readjust it down to 2. Let me just bring up, after this thing sets, I'll bring it up. And basically, you could use this, whether it's this happens to be a long trade, obviously, but you could use it on a short trade without changing the variables, provided your profit taking and stop loss levels are the same. Now, if you're day trading this and you kind of want to not have your sell limits too close, you can program them further out and just move them manually as the market moves. A lot of times I'll start tracking this, up here. Let's just get stopped out here if we can. So we'll track that up there, and when that gets hit, it will disappear. Oh, now it's not going to get hit. See, all you have to do is move your stop up, and then all you have to do is want to get hit, and then you won't get hit. All right, let's see what happens with this. I'm going to move it up a little more higher here.
Stop filled.
Okay, so there's our stop order out. So notice how everything disappeared, okay? Now let's go short.
Order filled.
All right, so now I'm short, and now you can see those same lines there, but reversed, because now this is a short position. And if that stop is too far away for the current market conditions, let's say you wanted to move it just on the other side of this range, big range bar here, and you kind of went over here and you grabbed the range bar, and you saw your stop is there, so you want to set it just under there. Well, maybe we'll set it halfway here, and we can move this one up to the bottom of that range bar's distance there. Then you can kind of use that. One of the, when you have a range bar like that, that kind of creates the boundaries. If you get a breakout on that, then there's a strong probability you'll go the same distance of that range bar to the next pivot point area where you could take profits. That's also something you can consider. But in any case here, it's pretty range bound. Markets are closed right now for the most part. Just a few small amounts of trading going on. I'll pick up again this evening during the Asian market. But anyway, it's kind of neat. All right, so ATM is something that play around with it on a sim account first until you get it the way you want, and then practice it a few times. But this way, you're always trading with the stop, and then you can always trade it with a profit-taking level, and which you can move around depending on the market dynamics. You may do an Elliott wave and see that a fib level is where your first profit wants to be, so you can move it. You can just slide it over. But when you have it set up like this, the nice thing about the ATM is that since it's there, when it gets hit, it'll readjust the stop position, so you don't have to mess around with it. So all the variables are dynamically changed as any of these levels get hit, which I kind of like. Makes things a lot easier. And you don't have to have multiple buy levels, okay? You don't have to have that. Now, if I sell out of this, I can do it by either closing the position or I can buy it back, but I'll just close it and all the orders disappear. Now let's go back here and edit this thing and remove one of those levels. So you go back to the ATM strategy on the right, edit it. All right, let's say you know, I don't want this 2. I'll decide, I'll remove that one. All right, save the template again, back to test. And now if I go long here,
Order filled.
notice I only have 1 and it's 5. Okay, it's the full amount. Now, if I want to adjust that down, I could, but that's just kind of one way of doing it there. And let me get rid of the markers here for the most part. We'll just do marker. Okay, gets rid of the letters there. Okay, so basically then in this particular point, stops a little far away based on the market activity, so we can move that under there. And, you know, maybe we'll, if it stays in a range-bound market, we'll take profits there. Now, if you wanted to take profits here, you just sell 5.
Order filled.
And notice it all disappeared. Let's go back and edit this again and say, okay, 5 and 5 quantities. Let's take 3 there, go back to our 2. And our 2 can be at 40, but I can mess around with that. So we'll save that again. And now we'll go long again.
Order filled.
Okay, and there are the 2 levels back. All right, any questions on that? Really, really handy. Now, here's what you could do. Let's say you're in a bracketed market, most breakouts fail. I don't think this one will, but let's say it does. Then you can put your stop for this one right there and take your profits before it pivots back into the range and then move your stop up to break even. You could always do that too. And therefore, if it goes and goes higher, you still got 2 contracts on and your stop can be basically brought up to break even, because if it's going to go, it probably will never come back down there once it breaks out of that range. So a lot of flexibility, but this is kind of a great way to approach it because it's automated and it will save you a lot of time. Any questions on that? All right, anybody have any questions on anything else? And again, you can use this on end of day charts, you know, daily charts, weekly charts. You can make it good till canceled. You can make it just a day order. All right. Most platforms will give you the ability of this type of setup. This on NinjaTrader is called an ATM strategy. But test it first in the simulated account, just to be sure you got it set up the way you want and it's working properly for how you want to use it. All right, well, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. You guys good on that? You find that helpful? All right, good. Excellent. All right, good. All right, well, that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. I don't like to cover too many things at one time, but you know, we're here for almost a half an hour, and that's kind of the limit on what we want to run the client supports, unless there's any other questions. So I'll keep the room open for a few minutes, but then I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. We'll see you back here next week. And this was recorded. You guys know where to get the recordings, right? Correct. Yeah, you got to log into the client VIP area. And actually, all the recordings are really on YouTube, but they're unlisted. So you can't just go to the YouTube channel and find them. You have to do it through the access link in the VIP area. And the reason we do that is we want these to be private. These are for our clients only. All right, well, actually, no further questions is a good thing. That means everybody's cranking out there. All right, so we'll be back as usual next week. You guys have a great week. Don't forget Stock Analysis Friday on this Friday and every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And
Friday the 13th.
say again?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, yeah, right. Friday the 13th. And all right, so that's it for today. You guys have a great one, and we'll see you back here next week.